Well, hello everyone on YouTube. This is Finalugia Guardian, also known as Lex Astoria on vid.me, and today I'm going to be doing a more relaxed and more subdued brief explanation of the three basic types of golf gloves. So, if you saw my other video, that was the much faster video, I've thought that if you wanted more detail, maybe you might appreciate a slower and more in-depth explanation. So, this is what that video will be. Now, without further ado, let's get started. The first type of golf glove we will talk about is the all-leather golf glove, represented by this Callaway Dawn Patrol golf glove. And the next golf glove we will talk about is the synthetic type golf glove, represented by this Nike Durafeeel, although you could substitute in something like a FootJoy Weathersoft glove. And then the third type of golf glove we will discuss is the synthetic leather hybrid golf gloves. So, you would see basically any one of these types of golf gloves if you walk into a golf shop, and they each have their own pros and cons. So, what are the pros and cons of each? Well, let's discuss them. So, what we will start with first is the pros and cons and characteristics generally of the all-leather golf glove. And as I mentioned before, this is a Callaway Dawn Patrol golf glove. It is made of 100% Carburettor leather, which means it's very thin sheepskin leather. The back of the glove and the front of the glove are made of sheepskin. And of course the Velcro's not, but that's one of the few parts of the glove that are not. So, let's discuss the advantages of this all-leather golf glove. One, it's the most traditional design, so it's had a long time to establish itself in the world of golf, and manufacturers have time to work out all the kinks in the all-leather glove design. Another advantage, of course, is that they fit good straight out of the box. They stretch to fit your hand really easily, and of course, since it's very thin sheepskin leather, it is very soft, and it'll give you a good, firm, tacky grip, and you'll be much more comfortable holding the golf club's grip with one of these on. Now, here are some disadvantages to this leather golf glove. Since it is all leather, and of course leather is made out of animal skins, it is going to be more expensive to produce than either synthetic or hybrid golf gloves. Another disadvantage is because it's leather, it stretches out a bit faster than synthetic or hybrid golf gloves. Now, that's the advantage of having it fit straight out of the box. Of course, once again, because it fits so well straight out of the box, that's because the leather stretches so much and so easily. So you will have this glove wear out faster. And because it's leather, it doesn't like water too much. So if you are playing out in the rain, this glove is not a good choice either. For that, you would want something that is synthetic and is more resistant to getting wet. Like the FootJoy Weathersoft gloves are good all-around weather gloves. But I think in general, a better glove for rainy days would be the FootJoy Rain Grip golf gloves, or another brand's variant of that particular glove. I do not have any FootJoy Rain Grip golf gloves here, but I'm just throwing out that the Rain Grip gloves exist, and they will probably be the best for rain. But synthetic in general will be better than just leather. So that will pretty much sum up all the advantages and disadvantages of the all-leather golf glove. So, that said, let us now move on to the synthetic golf glove. This is a Nike Durafeeel golf glove. And you'll notice, of course, that it looks very similar to the FootJoy Weathersoft glove. It's got leather here on the thumb and a leather patch on the palm, but everywhere else the material is synthetic. And there's a little bit of mesh right here in between the fingers. You'll notice that FootJoy Weathersoft gloves also have mesh in between the fingers as well to help keep the hands cool. And of course, just like with the leather glove, you have holes in the fingers. And of course, all synthetic on the back, synthetic here on the front. So let's discuss the advantages of this. Well, I think we should start with price. This is a very cheap glove. You'll notice the prices on all of the sites in general have synthetic gloves for far less than you would have all leather gloves. This is the cheapest of the 3 gloves that I put on the table in front of you. So if you are more budget-minded, then perhaps maybe you would be interested in a synthetic glove. Another advantage of synthetic gloves is that they are more durable. They do not stretch quite as easily, so as a result, they will not stretch out to the point where you have the club sliding around in your hand as you swing the golf club. And of course, that means that over a longer period of time, you'll get more use out of these gloves. Now, of course, let's get to the disadvantages of the synthetic. Oh, sorry, one more advantage. Of course, as I mentioned before, better in wet weather to have one of these synthetic gloves, because this material holds up to water a lot better than, say, all leather, which doesn't like water too much at all. All right, now that we've gotten the advantages of the synthetic out of the way, let's talk about the disadvantages. These will not fit quite as comfortably or quite as well as an all-leather glove straight out of the box. The material just doesn't form to your hand quite as well. It is also not quite as soft, and it doesn't feel quite as supple as leather. And, of course, leather being animal skin similar to ours, the texture on all leather, at least in my experience, just feels a little bit better than synthetic. However, it's not a huge difference in my personal opinion. So in terms of how good of a grip you'll get straight out of the box, the synthetic gloves will be at the bottom of the pack. Does it mean they're bad? No. And they are certainly better than not having any golf gloves at all. So just know the limitations, and you will probably be fairly happy even with a synthetic glove, and your wallet will be even happier too. All right, that will pretty much wrap up all of the advantages and disadvantages of the synthetic glove. So that leaves us with the hybrid leather synthetic golf gloves. So this is a Callaway X-Tech hybrid golf glove. Now, what does it mean to be a hybrid? Well, it means you have copper-coated leather on the front, and this is actually very soft copper-coated leather. In my opinion, the front of this golf glove actually feels a little bit softer even than the Callaway Dawn Patrol gloves. But we won't go into that much detail. You'll notice, of course, that even though there is all leather on the front and thumb right here, that on the back of the thumb, and of course the back of the glove here, it is synthetic leather. Now, this is an attempt to sort of split the difference in terms of advantages and disadvantages when it comes to synthetic gloves versus leather gloves. So the advantages, of course, by having the synthetic material on the back is that it is more durable than an all-leather glove. This synthetic material will not stretch out quite as easily, and of course it'll result in the glove not stretching out quite as fast as a leather glove. However, it will stretch out faster than a synthetic glove. And of course, just like a leather glove, this part of the glove does not like water. It just does not like it at all. So you're going to not be playing in the ring with this glove either. But it is very soft, and it will give you a good grip on the club. Not quite as good as an all-leather glove will, but it is nearly as good. And if you're like me, you won't notice a huge difference. I mean, if you focus on the differences, you will notice them. But if you're focusing on the game and not the gloves that you're wearing, I think in general you will be fine, even with a hybrid golf glove. And of course, one advantage this has over the all-leather golf glove is this is actually a little bit cheaper than the all-leather golf glove because, of course, they can save by using a little bit of synthetic material on the back and saving the copper-coated leather for the front. So it doesn't cost them as much to make, so it doesn't cost you as much to buy. However, it is more expensive than the all-synthetic golf gloves, like the FootJoy Weather Soft gloves and the Nike Durafeeel golf gloves that I just showed you. So, in best way I can probably describe this is a middle-of-the-road glove if you don't want to give up a whole lot of anything. If you're willing to give up a little bit of fit, but you don't want to give up all that you have to give up for synthetic, but you don't want to give up the bargain value that synthetic provides, and that leather unfortunately does not provide, then this glove is probably for you. So now, what is the final recommendation that I would give? Well, it depends on what kind of golfer you are and what kind of things you want to do. The all-leather golf gloves, as you know, are used most commonly by professionals. Almost all of them use an all-leather golf glove, just a plain white leather golf glove when they're on tour. And of course, the reason for that is because, once again, out of the box, this gives you the best fit you can expect to get out of a golf glove. And when you're talking about athletes where matches are decided by one stroke, and that determines who gets the prize, well, then you want every advantage you can legally get. And if that means spending a little bit of extra money on an all-leather golf glove every time you go out and play a match on the PGA Tour, you're going to spend a little bit of extra money and get this glove. However, if you're just an everyday Joe Smith and you play golf on the weekends only, and you're a budget-minded golfer, and your golf gear is not up to the most recent stuff that's been released, like let's say you're like me and you're rocking a very old Big Bertha Fusion FT3 driver from Callaway, then perhaps you'll be perfectly satisfied with this because you won't get enough performance enhance out of this to overcome the Callaway Big Bertha Fusion FT3's shortcomings. It just doesn't hit the ball quite as far as newer drivers do today, and it's not quite as consistent as the newer drivers are today. So that into account, using this over this will not produce any significant difference, at least in terms of competitive play. So in that case, you would probably be best served by buying this all-synthetic golf glove, saving yourself some money initially out of the box, and having it last longer than this glove, and of course having to replace your gloves less. However, let's say you are just middle of the road, you want to be really comfortable in your swing, and you want to play just a little bit better than your golf buddies who just play golf on weekends, and you have a little bit more upgraded gear, then perhaps you would be best served with going and buying a hybrid leather and synthetic golf glove. And that, of course, would give you the advantage of having a little bit of savings, but just having that little bit extra bit of performance that would give you just that little bit of edge over your buddies, and it gives you the ability to have bragging rights at the end of the day when you win the golf match. And that will pretty much sum up for who should buy what golf glove. Professional or very serious amateur who wants to be the best they can, buy the leather. Just everyday casual player doesn't really care too much other than just having a good time, buy synthetic. And for those who just want to play a little bit better but don't want to spend quite as much money that they would have to spend to always get a leather glove, buy the hybrid. And that pretty much is my recommendation. So I thank you all for watching, and until next time, take care. Peace.